Well, we were thinking, Dave and I were thinking that it was just going to be, like, we had my cheat meal, and then, like, it was going to, my metabolism was going to rev at that point. Well, my metabolism revved, but I think my hormones also got a little bit more back on track, and they were like, oh, we got, a ton of food. Let's have a period.
And that's, it's good that you got your period during a show, because it means your health, like, your body's still on track, and, like, you're healthy, because it is not good to, like, a lot of girls like to brag, like, oh, I lost my period. Like, that is not what you want. Ever.
It's not, like, granted, it is kind of nice at some points, but...
Yeah, you get a break, you don't have to deal with it, and, like, you definitely don't want your period on stage in a little tiny bikini. Like, however, you really don't want to lose yours. Like, that's the goal. It doesn't always happen. It doesn't mean you're unhealthy if you maybe miss one or two, because, your body is going to get out of whack. When you're going, like, a year and a half, 2, like... You're
dealing with some long-term implications at that point.
Definitely, and that's another podcast episode. We want to get into that, but, like, it definitely, like, we need to... sorry, again, with my little dog. His name's Frankie. He's, like, the cutest, but is a little vocal. But, no, like... And with that, like, again, that just, like, ties into, like, just really needing, I think, like, when coaches, decide to take on a bikini competitor, you really do need to kind of, like, say all this stuff.
You need to explain exactly what is expected of you, what you need to expect as an athlete.
100%.
And the time frame. Because everyone thinks, like, oh, I can just become, a national competitor overnight.
Yeah. Oh, my God, yes.
And, I can be there within, 6 months. No.
100%.
No. And that's a big thing, too, is where I've made mistakes as well. You need to interview a coach. You need to say, hey, I would like to jump on a phone call with you or a FaceTime with you and really get to know you kind of as a person as much as I can within that phone call, because... You can see a person's athletes, but they may only showcase, 5% of their athletes.
100%.
And to me, that's a huge deal. And that's also, it can be a red flag as well. If they're willing to jump on a call with you, great. You know that they're willing and they're open and they want to just be completely vulnerable as to who they are as a coach.
Well, and they should want to interview you, too.
Exactly.
Like, you need to, like, figure out, because, like, you also, like, as a coach, and I'm sure you know this too, like, you have to make sure that that person's doing it, like, one, for the right reasons. Because if they're doing it to, like, fix an insecurity, which I think girls do all the time.
It's way more common than it should be.
If I can give you any warning, this will not fix an insecurity that you have. It'll magnify it tenfold.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be okay with somebody telling you that your legs are too jiggly at 6 weeks out. I mean, for real, you do, and you can't take it personally. Like, when my parents, like, I'm very blessed to have them. They used to judge shows and everything, so they know. So, like, when I ask them, obviously, for their feedback, because they're my best critics, my parents are telling me, you got your butt's got to lose, like, an inch. Like, you're jiggling here, your waist, you better, like, we got to diet you down a little bit more. You have to be able to be okay with that criticism, because this is a sport. They would never tell me that if I came up to them in off season and I'm like, how's Heather today? What do you think of Heather today? They're not telling me your waist is too fat. Because
that's the thing, though, and that's what's important. That's another important aspect of this whole thing, is that if you have people, family, relationship, anything like that they know what they're talking about in bodybuilding, and they tell you, oh, you need like 5 more pounds off. You can't take that as, some sort of, dig or criticism or anything like that. They're trying to help you. But also 100%. In turn, if they don't know what they're talking about in bodybuilding, of course they're going to tell you that you looked the best. You should have won. Sure. Like, you look amazing. Like, of course you look amazing, but they don't know. They don't know what you're looking for and what the judges were looking for and why that person beat you or why you need to, lose another 5 pounds. I know my parents, I mean, God bless them. They're the most supportive people, but they've told me multiple times when I lost, like, oh, you should have won. The other girls didn't look as good as you. Well, they don't know anything
Yeah.
about bodybuilding. Of course they're
Exactly.
going to say that I look
Yeah.
the best, but
And those cheerleaders are important too.
they
Like,
are.
yes.
They are, but I think
But you also need someone to like be real with you.
right, and I think that's what's important to having that support of someone who knows what they're talking about, whether it's your coach, whether it's your significant other, whether it's
Yeah.
your parents, whoever, friend, I don't care. You need to have someone in your corner
100%.
because it can't be just you at
No.
that point. Like I did that for the Arnold, and I had a very, very, very hard time coaching myself all the way through.
It's definitely hard to do. I can't imagine coaching myself. Like, I mean, I've had my dad trains me, or a couple other doctors are involved. Like, we kind of do that as a team, but like, I can't imagine just not having an outside thing. That could be definitely hard. And two, you almost get a warped sense. This is another thing that I think people need to be warned about. Like, you can look at yourself and think you look great before prep. All of a sudden, though, once you start to lose weight, you now all of a sudden have a new normal that you didn't have before. And that gets less and, like as you get leaner and leaner and leaner. But so it's harder for you to like see, to like judge yourself. And then also, if you're in a gym with a bunch of non-competitors, you are always, of course, you're going to look the best. You're going to look great in a gym mirror, especially after a carb day. You know what I mean? Like if you see like, you might only see like your arms or your stomach, like that might be great. But like when you take all your clothes off and like put on this little bikini next to everybody else that has been dieting their ass off and working their ass off, you can easily come in last. And in your head, you're thinking you look the best because you just compared yourself to the
girl at the gym. Exactly. And that's the thing is like, I think for my last prep, like it was really, really cool for me since I had that other set of eyes. Like Dave and I coached, I don't know if you knew this or not. Dave and I coached me for my last prep. So he was like my second set of eyes.
Oh, nice. See, like that's.
But he had never seen like a bikini prep done before.
Oh, I gotcha.
So he was like, "Oh no, you're tiny enough. You're tiny enough. Like I think you're fine. Like let's just worry about you being full." Well, I was one of the biggest girls on stage at that point. Not like fat, but
are you talking
muscular.
About, like, for the North Coast?
Yes.
You blew, like, it was no brainer. Like, so guys, so you don't know, I hand out the trophies with my sister every year for the North Coast. And I remember standing on stage and watching, because I was like, making sure I saw you. And I was like, oh my God, this is like a note, literally. Like, blew them away. Like, I already knew you won. Yeah. So, you looked very good. And I definitely know what you're talking about being full on that stage. Because you were.
Yeah.
And like,
but it's so funny to me because like in person,
oh my God,
compared to everyone else,
tiny.
I look so small. But then I get on stage and I'm like, oh my God, I look like an Amazon next to these other girls. I mean, I came in at, like I said, 107. These other girls are coming in at 92, 93, 94. And I'm like, oh my God.
It's crazy to me. And like being both on the more muscular side, like genetic wise, like there's just nothing you can do. And like you basically roll the dice every time you step on stage. Like you hope other bigger girls come in, like so you don't look as crazy, but
and you never know.
And then it either like helps you or hurts you.
Right.
Because if they don't want a bigger girl, then you're placing last.
Right.
And
I think honestly we should do a whole podcast on what they want in the bikini division, what areas of the think want, because I think that's
definitely different. Yes, that's another thing.
Depending on the show, the level.
Mm-hmm. There's a big difference between regional and nationals.
Huge. Yes.
Huge.
So, I think for today we're gonna wrap this episode up. We kind of got off into a tangent.
Yeah.
That's
and
Heather and I. It won't be our last one. But we're so happy to get this podcast started, and hopefully we can bring some great content for you guys that you'll really be interested in for the fitness industry, for makeup, for hair, for skincare,
for life. I mean, just lifestyle stuff. Like we just want like all the good, like important stuff in a girl's life. Like we said, hair, how you look, exercise, fitness, and just like lifestyle and handling life in general. And we just really want to bring you a really good, cohesive podcast and just give you, like we said at the beginning, like Rachel said, like just advice that we've done. We've tried so many different things. Some of them, half the stuff failed, half the stuff, brought us closer to our goals. And if we can just kind of help you and like speed up your process and, you know, living your life and cut out some of that trial and error, like that's really what we want to do.
Yeah.
So
I'm very excited. I mean, this is going to be a great thing, I think, and it's going to be a big thing, I think, hopefully.
yes.
And we're looking forward to future podcasts, and we're looking forward to seeing all of you at the Arnold, hopefully.
Yes.
We're going to have some fun surprises there for you, for sure. So with that being said, I think we're going to sign off for today. Next episode, stay tuned. We're going to be doing episodes, we're going to release one every week.
Yes, correct.
So we're going to release those on Mondays, I believe. So look out for those, and we will talk to you soon.
Okay, bye guys.